Test.
Test 1, 2.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 164. I am your host, Anthony Trapani. As always, got a couple of resident homies with me. A few resident homies. Got the full lineup tonight. We got Casey, Joel, and Joseph. What up, y'all?
Yo,
What up?
And tonight, it's a very special one. As all of them are special, but this one's a very special one. We got Trey Williams from Dying Fetus with us tonight, guys. What up, Trey?
What up, dudes? What up, internet? How's everybody doing tonight?
Dude, I'm doing great now that we're here, dude. I've been waiting for this one all week, and plenty of Dying Fetus blaring out of the speakers all week and shit. So I'm happy right now.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. Shit. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and as always, let's do that. What's up to the people in the chat? By the way, I see you guys popping out. I don't know if the Instagram thing. We're trying a new thing tonight. The Instagram live. I wonder if people can chime in on the Instagram, see if that shit's working for us tonight. While that's happening, we'll do some plugs real quick, dude. BattleforgeCoffee.com, as always, up top. The godfathers of this California death metal scene. They put together a coffee company, dude, and we want to rep that shit, support it. It's good stuff. If you have any Cali Death flowing in your veins and you like caffeine, you need to go over there and get your mean bean over there. California, no, CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com is where you can put a little money in our pockets to get you guys some more merch. We got couple t-shirts there. Joseph, the professor, up in the right corner, repping it right now, dude. That's sick ass design from Triple Sace. Shout out Triple Sace. Go over there if you want to financially support us. If you want to support Casey's homie down in SoCal, get your jam on at GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com. Oceanside.
You know,
that's where you can write your riffs, and
we're live on Instagram, guys, for the first time. I just checked.
Yeah. I had to go onto Instagram and then click go live after the fact, so now I know how to do it. But we're not going to see the chat from them, so we have to monitor it. But anyways,
either way, that's cool. That another outlet, you can see our ugly faces. Twitch.tv/Cali Death Podcast is where you'll see it live. Also, that's where we do it every Thursday. This is where we're streaming out of. What else? We got some shows, Joseph. Or did what else did I say? Did I miss anything? No.
Yeah. To Violently Vomit live in Texas and New Jersey in March. So hit up the To Violently Vomit Facebook page to get the dates and details.
Nice.
Oh yeah, nice.
I really want to just start mentioning, hey, you guys don't need to buy our t-shirts. Just go hit all the buttons, hit all the bells and buttons. That's what we need. All the socials and where YouTubes and all that shit. Hit just thumbs up, hit a comment, say what's up.
Does that shirt say 2 year on it anywhere, Joseph?
No,
we should just call it the anniversary shirt or something. Change it because it's our like eternal shirt.
Eternal, yeah.
Yeah, we'll rebrand it a little bit. Sure.
Yeah, make it the revolving anniversary shirt or something. I don't know. Anyways,
what about you, Trey? Where you want people to go? For Fetus merch or any other projects you're involved in? Is there a central hub for you yourself where you want people to go?
You can go to, I think it's dyingfetusband.com and find, all the links to all the socials, any merchandise companies, tour announcements, everything relevant to what we're doing and what's going on. So you can check it out there.
Nice.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
Cool, dude. Let's just get right into it, Trey. Again, thank you for sitting down with us and chatting. With the show, we like to really get to know you and get to know your life. So, before all the Fetus stuff, before any bands and everything, we want to go all the way back. We want to know what the childhood was like. Maybe, what was playing in the speakers from your parents when you were a kid, tinkering around with your toys on the ground, in the living room. I remember the Beach Boys all the time. I probably mentioned that fucking 30 times on the show, but
you like sandals.
or any Motown, a lot of different, 50s doo-wop shit was really standing out to me when I was a kid. So yeah, like what was that situation like for you?
Oh, I was just like running around in my underwear with the Superman cape and cowboy boots on.
Hell yeah, dude.
As a little kid, like way little guy, listening to like some Disney, like about Pecos Bill or some Disney album or something like that. That was like way back in Fayetteville, North Carolina, when I was before even elementary school. That's like preschool and shit
Right.
like that. And then during that time, I was, you're listening to what your mom and dad are listening to, and is the 80s, middle of the 80s, and Hall & Oates is pumping, and all Michael Jackson, and all that stuff that you would hear on the radio. My stepfather was a bit into like prog rock a little bit, so there'd be like I remember that King Crimson album. I think it was a King Crimson album where it's got like a guy yelling on it. It's like and it's
in
like
the core Crimson King.
Yeah, that album. And
yeah,
I just remember being a little kid and seeing that and just thinking that looks so crazy. But I mean, that's kind of like the formative like musical things going on, and my fashion choices.
Fashion. I love your shirt, dude.
Oh.
Great.
No, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like it. Mr. Horse.
yeah.
Classic.
Your voice sounds almost similar to that. Like,
It kind of does, dude.
No, sir. I just don't like it.
pull it off.
That's actually pretty fucking accurate, dude. So for
audio
youngins that don't know, it's one of the greatest cartoon shows that I grew up on. You got Ren and Stimpy. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, powdered toast man, dude. Powdered toast man.
Dude.
Space madness.
He would fly butt first. He would fly backwards. Or
Flub butt first. Yeah.
Yeah, he would like squat down and fart his way into a flying backwards.
Not to get too deep on the. Go. I was gonna say, like, didn't he do like X-rated shit? Didn't that cartoonist do like originally it was like X-rated or something?
Well,
and they kind of
there's definitely some like homosexual undertones. I mean, you look back on it as an adult.
Oh, there's like there's shit that wasn't released though. That was like originally it was like way more far than what it became.
And I'm sure you can watch a documentary on YouTube about John Kay. Like he definitely he was a bit of a rascal in his own right.
Exactly.
I think the show eventually got taken away from him because they were just you're just a bit too much.
It was like
Yep.
Howard Stern had like the Stimpy guy on, and then had him on, and they like had already been parted. It was like that's a crazy one to watch.
Yeah,
but
Billy West. Yeah.
Didn't he do some sketchy shit though? Like later on.
That's a YouTube documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Somewhere.
He's well, I'm not going to comment on this. You can look it up yourself.
Stimpy influenced me to hide my boogers underneath tables and shit. I remember that, dude.
That's cool. Oh yeah.
My nose and just wipe it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It
was a very influential cartoon in my life.
Me too, man.
In high school, we had this studio program, and we had this sampling keyboard. So I would go home and like record Ren and Stimpy and just commercials and random shit on the TV onto cassette, and then I would sample it back at school. I would just do all sorts of weird, stupid stuff. And for my own amusement, nobody else thought it was funny, but I would be cracking myself up. So,
well, dude, I mean, if you really think about it, that's like the beginning of training for death metal. We do this for us first. It is kind of we got to be, down with our shit before we put it out. So we're actually really are doing it for ourselves first,
The love of extreme arts,
and being creative, just taking, and using cassettes, dude.
Yeah.
I had a Talk Boy, and I would record shit and do the same kind of thing.
Jesus.
you know, or we've talked about fart tapes and shit like that. Like cassettes were actually
Yeah.
very they were very what would be the word, useful, you know, in multiple ways you can get creative with cassettes, dude.
Oh yeah, 4 tracks. They're great.
Hell yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
So all right, so you're just playing with sounds and samples and stuff. What would come out of that though? Like, were you making actual music, or was it just like, you know, edited funny tape stuff?
It's just like just a soundboard for my own amusement. You know, it would automatically like pitch shift and speed up and slow down, so you could like actually like play music with these samples. But
and you were coming up with that organically, or did you already have an influence? Did you know of some artist that was doing similar things? But you're kind of young. What age are you again?
I was high school, so it was probably
okay.
like 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
I liked a lot of industrial music at the time too, so
Hell yeah.
probably like making industrial songs of my own, and then knowing that there was a lot of sampling going on in that genre of gunshots and people marching and, you know, things like that, machinery sounds.
Right.
I guess I was just trying to create my own little soundscapes and stuff. Like I said earlier, nothing came of it. It was really just kind of for my own amusement and to try to get a laugh out of some of my buddies that were in the program too. So that was really what that was for. It was just a high school credit and just fucking around.
So let's rewind a little bit though, because I want to. So when did music exceed just that background noise level for you that you started paying attention to it?
Late middle school, high school.
Okay.
I wanted to be in a band ever since I can remember. I just watching MTV, Headbangers Ball, things like that. I wanted to play. I wanted to drum. And the drums themselves, the actual instrument itself, was my greatest inspiration just for wanting to do it. I just saw them and they looked so cool, and I gotta play this thing. Look at it. It's so awesome. And you know, mom and dad wouldn't let me do that, so I would play bass guitar for a little while, and then meeting some people in high school. And yes, Mike Drummer, drums are the best.
So okay, that's kind of cool. Just hearing you say that the instrument itself was kind of the driving force for you to play it, not a specific player, you know. But I'm sure there was some moments where you saw a specific drummer play and you're like, whoa, what's this guy doing?
Yeah, of course you're gonna run into those things. I just, the kind of person I am, I don't really have heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put people on pedestals per se.
Okay.
So I never really was like a fan of a specific drummer. Do I have inspirations? Do I have people that I've stolen concepts and ideas from? Absolutely. You know, I won't lie when I say that I stole things from Kevin Talley. I won't lie when I say I stole stuff from, oh God, why can't I remember his name? From Human Remains. Fuck. He's a great friend.
Dave
Whitty.
Yeah.
Dave Whitty. Yeah. And, you know, stole ideas and concepts from people, but I really can't say that, like, I grew up saying that, like, Sean Reinhart was my favorite drummer. You know, it's like, it's the drums. It's the activity of itself.
Right. Okay. So then
cool.
Now the next thing that I would say from there is, since that's the case, nobody just dives right into extreme metal or finds metal right away. You know, there's the path into the thickest of forests, you know. And so talk a little bit about the social aspects of being the young kid, or, you know, what was drawing you to the extreme parts of metal. First, how did you come across metal, like actual metal in general? And then what was the magnetism? If it wasn't specific players, was it friends around you, or was it some kind of solo mission that you've been on your whole life, you know?
Probably MTV, seeing Guar on the cover of a Thrasher magazine when like Scumdogs came out and thinking, oh my God, look at these freaking psychopaths.
Right.
And just, I've always been fascinated and wanted to be excited by music. And ultimately that excitement is based in fear and intimidation, and hearing music that caused me to be scared and to be intimidated and to like blow my mind. How can it be done this way? I don't have how is this happening? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's really kind of what it was. And those were the things that got me intrigued. You know, it started with watching things on MTV, and then, you know, you meet people and they show you things. I remember sitting down and being introduced to Slayer, Guar, and Deicide all in this one listening session. Jesus. And I heard Slayer and I stopped it. It was Angel of Death right when the scream starts.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't like that. Because I just really wasn't into hair metal. I wasn't into like the high pitched singing and stuff like that, you know.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah.
But little did I know, like,
What was coming next?
If I just stuck around a minute, it would have been a lot cooler. I have since changed the error of my ways.
Right.
I appreciate the hell out of that now. And then Guar, of course. Well, Trey, how can you then say you enjoyed Guar? Because they've got some loony ass singing going on in that. But I think just like the lunacy and the insanity of it kind of made it more appealing. I was also into Mr. Bungle already at the time.
Nice.
And Faith No More. So that kind of all over the place vocal style that Odorous was doing was really appealing. And then, oh my God, Deicide, that was too much for my little brain at that time.
Yeah.
That was Legion. I knew that was the evil shit.
Yeah.
This was the satanic panic stuff. This was the reason why there's a warning label on the CD. and it took me a while to be able to really digest death metal. You know, I worked my way into Pantera and more heavier things like Fear Factory, and Fear Factory is when like I really started to demanufacture the one that was on the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. You know, that's the album that really got me like, whoa, this really fast, intricate double bass stuff is pretty cool. And then I was just off to the races.
Yeah.
And I met people in the new high school I moved to, and met the metalhead dudes, and like everybody's just like, here.
Do you think your industrial background kind of made Fear Factory a little bit easier to or quicker to get into?
Yeah. Because they skirt that realm too, you know? Right. So I also had cousins that owned a nightclub down in DC, and they introduced me to a lot of music. One of them owned a industrial record label, so he would just, here, check this out, and they would always introduce me to stuff. I was actually more into hip hop than metal, and then bands like Faith No More and Mr. Bungle kind of switched me over. And right around the time that people, like at least in my social group, in my age bracket, where like Guns N' Roses was blowing up, and like the Metallica Guns N' Roses tour, where the stadium got messed up in that one when Guns wouldn't come out. Around that time, a lot of the metalheads started listening to gangster rap.
Yeah.
And I did the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I went the other way. I stopped listening to as much rap, and I started listening to more aggressive and heavy rock music. So
yeah, I took that similar path, dude. Hip hop was way more prominent before I started getting into, you know, rock and heavy metal and stuff. But slowly but surely, again, you get kind of pulled into it if certain boxes are checked on the list, you know.
You're talking about that tour that was like the 91 or 92 tour or something with Metallica, Guns N' Roses.
I think that's the one.
Yeah.
When like Guns didn't
Yeah.
come out for like an hour and a half, and people in Montreal. I think
Yeah. So
James got like burned, right? James got burned on that tour or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Guns N' Roses
That
like
was-
came out and only did like 20 or 30 minutes, and then they rioted because they're like,
That's when James had like the mullet and shit, like that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so I was too young. I was only like 9 or whatever around that time. But Dan Eggers he went to that show. It was insane.
Yeah.
I remember he talked about that. But I think I might be wrong, but I think they asked Nirvana to be on that tour. And like and Nirvana or Kurt was a huge fan of Metallica, but he obviously hated Guns N' Roses and Axl Rose and that whole thing and shit. And it was so bad that he like literally they didn't do the tour because Guns N' Roses was on
got
the tour.
added.
I'm pretty sure. I was thinking,
God.
oh man, you could like
That'd
you
be a
know,
weird tour though. Metallica and Nirvana. I don't know if that would really.
I think it'd be sick.
I mean, well, in our old age, it'd be rad, but at the time of when things
Yeah.
are popping off, I think it would be like just a clash of
Yeah.
styles. I don't think it would work. It'd be a much
I
of
never
grungy people getting beat up.
did any of you guys ever get to see Nirvana? I'm probably I don't know how old you are, Trey. I'm like the oldest probably here.
I'm 45.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not the oldest. I'm 40.
I think
41.
40.
almost.
Okay, 41. Yeah.
Almost 41. Yeah. Yeah. No, never saw Nirvana, man. That would have been cool. I bet they're great. But, anyways, moving on.
Where are we at? Sorry, I forget.
I don't know. I'm in Baltimore. You guys are in California. That's
All you guys just froze on me. So I was
Okay.
just waiting for you guys to come back.
You got frozen. Our host was frozen. So,
Frozen
All right,
host.
guys.
yeah.
All right. So I just for my personal, I have a personal question. What kind of hip hop were you listening to?
Houdini, Run DMC. Yeah, I was listening to MC Hammer. Which I guess you wouldn't really.
Yeah, dude. That
I
shit
mean, you
rules.
really. Yeah, I mean, but whatever was on MTV. You
Yeah.
know, what was
Yeah.
on Yo MTV Raps, De La Soul.
UMTV reps.
MTV truly was a great babysitter for us. Yeah, I mean, I was a kid of the '80s too, and it really was something that was much more valuable and different than it is today. Is it even a thing today? I don't even know if MTV is a thing.
No, it's not. It's a reality
totally
TV
gone?
show place, right?
Yeah.
So like
There's
Yeah.
quite a
Shore and
few.
shit.
There's quite a few artists and stuff. Headbangers Ball and Beavis and Butthead, and even the more popular stuff, the rap stuff of the '90s and late '80s and shit. It was where it's planted a lot of seeds for us. Whether we even realized it or not, just putting imagery to music.
What's your guys' like first memory of a music video? Like besides
everyone.
Michael Jackson.
Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun was one of the most.
Yeah, that was
I was Sober by Tool. I remember seeing Sober by Tool when I was a kid, and like after on a Sunday night trying to go to bed and watching the like fucked up like claymation thing, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
This will be a little later, but I think "Stan" by Eminem.
Okay.
Shit, yeah.
I remember being a kid in my living room and there was like the Unforgiven video and like the old man.
oh,
was
that
all-
too.
He
Yeah.
was like all like shaking and I was just. Trey, what's yours, dude?
Probably Thriller.
Oh,
Okay.
Seeing that, seeing what?
Yeah.
'cause I mean, when Michael Jackson was releasing a video, it was appointment watching. Because he was like
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
out movies basically, and
Yeah.
so like I guess that, and then maybe like Tawny Katane freaking rolling around on that car hood in a
Oh, what was this? Not
White Snake. I think it was White Snake.
White
Might have
Snake?
been.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
might
yeah,
have been. I might be wrong, but just like seeing that, Dr. Feelgood was really cool. I thought
yeah.
that was a cool video, and
The end of the Thriller video would be something that I would legit have nightmares and shit over. When his eyes at the end, when you realize it wasn't just a dream, it was real.
Mhm. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, I guess that I know that one of my inspirations to want to play drums and then to learn how to play drums was like watching Headbangers Ball and seeing Helmet play on that.
Oh, wow.
That's actually when I learned how to play drums, I'd put on Meantime and just tried to do that. So that's how at least I got my 1 and my 2 down, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, MTV was such a great place to find stuff. And it's a shame we don't have stuff like that anymore. But we have our modern age and we have way more access to stuff than we ever did. And we're really in a great time to discover things.
You guys seen that Michael Jackson drummer guy who does all the cymbal grabs and shit? Who like, what's his name?
Sugarfoot.
Sugarfoot.
That's it. Yeah,
I've heard of that name.
Yeah, and he's just like a Jar Zombek, and he's got like the cymbal
like
back
Oh,
here
behind him.
Totally. Yeah. And he toured like with him for a while and stuff and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
That Bobby instructional video, dude.
Oh yeah, Bobby.
Bobby Jarzik.
Yeah.
All right, so you said that the parents weren't down with the drum set yet, so you said you started playing bass first. Okay.
Yep. Started playing bass. Always wanted to be. Got in a band with some guys from my high school, which I'm still very, very, very good friends with. We started a band. It was called Tortured. If anybody wants to actually see a very young Trey, maybe I'm probably not old enough to drink yet. Playing in Baltimore. If you go on YouTube and you type up Tortured 814, you can find a video of me playing shirtless and yelling at my singer to pump ourselves up right before the set. So, and you can kind of see that I'm not quite a death metal drummer at the time. I'm doing more of like a what I guess what kids call hardcore now, where it's like this merging of like this reemerging of new metal ish kind of stuff with with hardcore influence too. So we were kind of doing something like that. I'm not saying we're some innovators or anything like that, but that's it.
Is that you? Short hair?
Oh yeah.
Oh, damn.
All right, everybody be quiet. Let's crank it up a little bit.
We'll screen that bad boy.
We gotta start with the scream again.
There we go.
Oh man, it's been a minute since I watched this.
Damn, dude.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
That's a long time ago.
I know. I look at, I was in a new metal band too. I've seen some footage, in the last 6 months or something, and I was just like, the whole time, just like, kind of cringe. But that actually, if that actually was my, that was my high school band or whatever, I'd be fucking stoked,
Yeah, we didn't quite do it the way everybody else was, but it's that was a long time ago. And
I do see the influence of new metal, but like kind of like a mixture of the hardcore scene. It's like not, you guys don't have like purple dreadlocks coming down. You guys have like kind of the hardcore scene, but you have kind of some of the rhythms of new metal a little bit, but it's more aggressive. I kind of saw that a little bit. Yeah. Definitely see that.
Well, if you think about it, new metal took that groove kind of from hardcore was around before new metal, so it's kind of just like an interweaving of, kind of what. What up, Mur? I know, dude. There's certain subjects on the show you can't talk Meshuggah too much. You can't.
I heard this like new Korn song that they were like or something. There was a Korn, and I was like, dude, it kind of sounds like almost death metal in parts, or like he's like growling.
New Korn?
Yeah, there was like some Korn. He was just like, and then he like goes to like some like like chorus. It's all stingy, but it was like I was like, Jesus Christ, like
There's no
It
doubt
wasn't
that
like
those
it wasn't
guys
death metal, but I'm just
came
saying.
across Cannibal Corpse and all
I
that
was
kind
like,
of shit.
Well, now it's very more it's
Now it's
accepted
cool,
now.
yeah.
There's huge
Yeah,
bands
thanks
that
to
are
Kim
have
Kardashian, it's all cool.
millions of sales that are growling now. So they're like, all right, well, millions of sales. We're Korn. We used to be big. You know, I can see them kind of integrating in that, and their sound kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, moving on.
So you
fun,
did,
one fun Corn fact is my hi-hats are they have a Corn logo on them. Their drummer didn't like the set that he had, and he gave them back to the rep, and my rep, I was going to buy a set, and my rep was like, you can have them, they got a Corn logo. And I was like, I liked Corn.
Yeah.
I like it as a food, and I liked them as a band at a point in time. So if you get to see my kit, I got Corn hats.
That's fucking
Yeah, that's
rad.
awesome.
What a cool fucking story. And I do have a lot of respect for Korn. And their current drummer is sick. What's his name again? Guys.
It's probably
Whatever
Ray
his name
Luzier?
is. Yeah,
Ray
yeah,
Luzier.
yeah. He's great. He's great. So
And he brought a blast beat into one of the newer songs. So
yeah, well, even greater.
Yeah.
You just made me think, like, do hi-hats ever bust like other cymbals? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It just
they
it's
can.
not as often though, right? Because they're probably kind of supporting each other a little bit better.
Yeah, they're holding each other. They're like,
I got you, buddy.
Yeah.
I've broken a set, but
yeah.
but not in my Dying Fetus era. But when I was playing in Tortured, I did.
It's usually the top one that breaks, huh? Right? Because the bottom is usually thicker. And then you have this like bottom hi-hat. You can never find a top for it. It's impossible online because everyone.
Another question now: Do you guys flip them periodically?
No, you can't flip them if unless they're like even style. But most hi-hats are very specific. Like that's the top, that's the bottom, and they're like different thicknesses and blah blah blah.
I did for a while. I did at a point, not in the era I'm in now of my playing, but I did do them inverted.
Really?
I just like the way they sounded inverted better.
Cool, actually.
Look, what you do, there's no right and wrong if you like the way it sounds.
I was just about to say, there really is no rules, you can play with sounds as much as you want, dude. There's
awesome.
Yeah. All right. So Tortured was the first situation, but all right. How long did you, I just want to rewind to the bass thing. How long did you play bass before you actually got a kit? When did you get the kit? When did your parents break and say, all right, you can get a kit?
Maybe my senior year of high school. So we had a drummer in my old band. He went to college. John Fitch was his name. And he told me I could borrow his drum set. And his parents said I stole it.
Oh, shit.
And I broke all of his cymbals because I don't know how to play. I'm just beating the hell out of him. Missed that dude. And he did let me borrow his kit. He did say I could borrow it.
Yeah.
But then mom and dad actually finally relented and let me buy my first kit, which was like some 70s era Ludwig rocker kit that was just not a good Ludwig. It was like an economy Ludwig. And then I saved up for my first real nice kit, which was Tama Art Star Custom.
What'd you do to get that money?
Work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I worked at a bartending gig while I was still in high school, which was freaking rad. All of a sudden, I got really popular with people. They're like, "Oh yeah, Trey, you can hook me up, right?" I'm like, "No, I don't know you, dude." But bag boy at a grocery store and doing bartending at this Mexican restaurant that was in my neighborhood. So,
nice.
$2,500 later, I got my first real nice drum set. Tama Art Star Custom, which might still be for sale at the Laurel, Maryland Guitar Center. I just a year ago finally parted ways with it, and
wow,
that's actually the drum set that I recorded Descended to Depravity on.
Oh fuck!
Also, and started touring with Dying Fetus.
Wow,
with that drum set. So, So if you want to get some piece of Fetus history, go check out the Guitar Center in Laurel, Maryland.
That's a pretty fucking rad story, dude. To get the first kit that you saved all that money for, you fucking, because obviously purchasing something like the feeling of accomplishment when you make that purchase, and then you got the kit, and then you really get that folds back into you getting more serious about it, and then it pushes you to eventually getting the Fetus gig, and then taking that with you and recording an album and going on tour with it and shit. I think that's a fucking cool story, dude.
Thanks.
To take the first kit that you saved up to buy out to this, it's still this gig that you have today,
Yeah. It served me well.
So no bass in any bands though? It was drums all the way?
The project that became my band Tortured, I played bass in that.
Okay.
And that lasted for probably about 2 years, maybe 2 years. And then went to play drums, and mom and dad wouldn't let me really play at home. So my buddy Bobby, his parents were cool, and that was the band jam house. So I would play, we would just come home from school and just immediately start jamming. That's all we did.
Right.
And internet wasn't a thing. You could watch MTV, cell phones weren't around.
Right.
So you rode your bike over to Bobby's house and maybe smoked a little bit of weed and started playing drums and writing music.
Dude. I mean, the simplicity in that is so great, like going to somebody's garage and just getting creative and getting high. It's just like it actually is a very good combination. I mean, I love being in the jam space stoned, but either way, it's just getting in that environment instead of staring at a wall. No, you just said no internet, no phones, dude. That's what people kind of would do.
Yeah, I'm noticing like my relationship with weed's been kind of trippy because I smoked for like 20 something years, like heavily for a long time. Then I quit for 5 or 6 years, and now I smoked the other day and had no fun and was like bummed the whole time and was overthinking everything and was like, oh shit, what's going on over here? And like, and I remember the reason why I loved it was jamming, like playing music, like even jamming in my room, just getting stoned and jamming. Like that was pretty much like the peak for me with weed. Was there's nothing better than being in the moment, stoned, just in like talking through your instrument or whatever you're doing. But yeah, as far as like me, like now as an adult, like I took like these, it's all legal around here, so I just went to the store, got some fucking like 5 milligram fucking chocolates, and I took them, and I was like, everything's good. Then I was like, I need to go.
Well, you just do the edible.
Well, first
you need to just sit on the couch and just take one puff, and then put on the big Lebowski.
The big Lebowski. But no, I mean,
and you'll be good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, I literally smoked like, up to 10 times a day for 10 years.
Yeah, but it's totally different when you do it all the time. It affects you differently.
I ate 150 milligrams this weekend and went laser tag, bro.
Edibles affect everyone differently, and a lot of people hate them. Like, they don't affect a lot of people great, and some people they're great, but some people they're not.
Yeah.
It's very.
That might have been it.
Edibles.
That might have been it.
Totally different than, but smoking or vaping or whatever, ingesting weed like that way instead of like edibles is completely different. I think it's totally different.
Yeah, like I mean, I got these mushroom psilocybin mushroom honey sticks. Psilocybin. No, now it's THC. It's flower. It used to be pot when or weed, chronic when I was a kid. Now it's like, oh, THC. But I got these honey sticks that are like professionally made with 0.25 grams in them. I took one and went to work, or not to work, but went to work like out in the yard and like did like gardening and stuff. And it was like way sicker than weed. I was like having the best time, and I was like smiling and just like on mushrooms. I was like, I mean, I wasn't on mushrooms. I was just like a little like floaty.
Oh my!
I felt stoned, but not dumb. I didn't feel dumb. I was like, I had all the effects I liked from weed without
microdosing.
Yeah, and I'm like, God, I'm gonna be one of those microdosing boomer guys now and just fucking start taking like every day, just on the way to work, take psilocybin. But
psilocybin.
That's what it's called, THC, fucking flower.
I hate that stuff, but I think microdosing's awesome. But I don't like.
I love macrodosing, but I can't do that as an adult.
Macrodosing.
Taking like 4 or 5 grams and just losing your goddamn mind. That's like a real reset for me. But I'm not trying to do that more than once every 5 years anymore. But yeah, mushrooms in the right dosage are fucking amazing. And I don't know why I'm going on this kick, but anyways, you guys like death metal or what?
Yeah.
Death metal's cool.
Trey, what do you think about all this, Trey? What's your
Drugs are bad. Man, yeah, I don't really smoke pot anymore. It doesn't do the same thing like it used to for me.
Exactly.
I just don't like feeling as disconnected from the world and the environment. I'll do an edible for a flight because I just want to like
There you go.
disappear and wake up and time travel over in Europe, you know. Yeah, I've dabbled with mushrooms. Done some macro doses.
yeah.
Done about
change your life.
like 7.5, 8 grams of penis envies. And just
Whoa!
and-
I've never
and
done that
just
much. Yeah.
curl up into a ball and just like hate life for about a 2-hour period, and then finally the clouds start to part, and you're like, I learned nothing. I thought I was supposed to see the clockwork elves, and like Joe Rogan was gonna guide me to my freaking spirit animal, dude. And all I did was have violent diarrhea and watch the walls trip.
It's way too much, dude.
So I've been around that shit, but
You
I love how opposite that is of Paul Masvidal. He's like, I ate 30 grams and got sober again, dude. It just went full circle.
I have yet to find the emotional and psychological breakthrough moment with psychedelics, and I do not believe that is going to exist in my life.
I mean, it kind of actually
happens for other people, but I don't think it's happening for me.
Yeah, there's actually it could be just a mindset. You know, you said something that kind of I've never really heard before, which is, you know, like I've never had no heroes in music. It's always been the drums, and usually like everyone I know has hero. It's just a different perspective you probably have, and then taking that kind of a medication will kind of maybe it affects everyone differently. You know, like what your mindset is going into it and stuff, and it's just it's been people have been using it to treat depression now, like doctors and shit now. So if you're like severely depressed with therapy, you could take that shit and that maybe could help. But
I want to do the ketamine, dude.
I was like, why is no one talking about acid, dude? Acid's way better.
It's too scary for everybody still.
Nah, dude.
Acid's good. Acid's good. When it's 3024 and humans are still alive, that's when acid's going to be talked about like psilocybin today, dude. Everybody
so much
thinks
better.
acid's still too crazy, which it probably isn't.
No, it's not.
But I think the fear. All right, we're in the psychedelic weeds so hard right now, guys.
You're like,
let's fucking.
Oh, you guys ever microdosed alcohol?
All right, do me a favor, everybody. Pull out your machetes, dude. Let's start hacking out of these fucking these psilocybin weeds and get back on the
Psilocybin weed conversations.
I love psychedelics though. All right, so Trey. All right, again, Tortured was where you kind of left off. So that the beginnings with the bass, and then you started playing drums. You were using that kit that you were talking about purchasing in that band too, obviously. So how far did you get with that band? Did you guys record anything in the studio, or
we did stuff demos? We sent it out to like what was it, Sound of Death magazine, SOD. There was like Pit magazine back in the day, and like SOD, Sound of Death. And you could send your demo out to get reviewed, and we got shredded. Yeah, they didn't like it, but that's cool, and we did play Milwaukee Metal Fest, like the year that like Suffocation retired. And fun memory for me, which ties into being now in Dying Fetus, is during the day Dying Fetus played at Milwaukee Metal Fest. This is around the year 98 when Killing on Adrenaline gets released. And they actually thank my old band Tortured in the liner notes for Killing on Adrenaline. It's on the rave stage at the Eagles Ballroom, which if anybody's been there, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was Internal Bleeding, Cryptopsy, Dying Fetus, then Deeds of Flesh. In 98, when like each of these bands is like at the peak. Oh, and Cephalic Carnage played on another stage, but like right when all these bands are just like, people are like, dude, have you heard of this band?
Yeah.
And I just remember like being in the crowd while people were waiting for Cryptopsy to come on, and everybody's just talking about Flo. They're like, dude, the drummer. Oh my god. Yeah. And during the Dying Fetus set, me and my buddies in Tortured and everybody at the front row, we all tore the barricade down and rushed the stage. And that footage is actually available on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, and then last year the Milwaukee Metal Fest comes back, and I get to play the Eagles Ballroom with Dying Fetus. Wow, so a really cool cycle back around, a great memory for me. Truly like one of the real life memory. Really,
that's definitely a treasure, dude. I mean, the full circle aspect of that, and those things are just that's the things that we really cherish in all of this, dude. You know,
I've seen those Milwaukee Metal Fest flyers being shared around social media to this day. People just being like, "Look at this insane lineup!"
Yeah, look at the lineup. Yeah,
98 or 2000, and people are just like, "Oh shit!" Imagine if that was today or whatever. And it's great that all those bands have such longevity to have a whole new generation of fans at this point. Like each of the bands you mentioned is like probably as popular as they've ever been. So.
Yeah. Oh, fun thing that ties back into like old bands that like members of Fetus were in. So that Milwaukee Metal Fest we played with Tortured, we had to sell tickets. We had to pay to play. We ended up, the only people that bought tickets from us were the guitar players from Garden of Shadows.
Oh, damn. Oh, yeah.
So they bought tickets from us. So they helped one gas tank.
There you go.
To get out there. But, but whatever.
I think in those moments, it's definitely worth it to pay to play, to just be a part of that experience. You know, you got your chance to expose yourself in a live setting to this giant, or big audience that you normally wouldn't be able to be exposed to in a live setting, so definitely I think that's a good investment, Yeah.
It was definitely a cool time and great memory. And then it became something really cool when we got to play.
So we played Summer Slaughter with you at the rave. I don't know. I wasn't aware of the Eagles Ballrooms. I played on like 4 stages there. So which one's the Eagles Ballroom stage?
Way upstairs. The huge room.
Okay.
Like
I don't know if we played. It's like Summer Slaughter. We didn't do that, right?
Oh no.
Okay. That's where Slayer plays and stuff. Like Slayer played up there and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And shout out to you said Cephalic. I saw Zach was hanging out in the Instagram chat. So what's up, Zach?
Sick.
Zach from Cephalic. Yeah. Hell yeah. And
dude.
Alex Bent fucking joined.
Dude.
Oh shit. All right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to shout him out earlier too. Always good to see Ian in there too. But I saw Mark from Triple Sace up in here, dude. I don't normally see him in the chat. I saw him.
No, I told him he was on the Instagram one. I was like, go to the YouTube one if you want to.
There he is.
If you want to fucking get your questions on the screen, because the Instagram one's kind of like a separate thing. But anyways,
one who made Joseph's shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did the art.
Shout out.
That's cool. So I mean, so you're still. So are we getting to the severed head yet? Have we? So you're tortured and stuff.
I can speed this up. So
you don't have to speed it up.
It's fine. So playing in the local Baltimore scene, Severed Head loses their drummer to Misery Index. Matt Byers. I think he was on Retaliate.
I was going to say it was
I think it was Retaliate. After Tally had left. So they poached Matt Byers from Severed Head, and just playing in the local scene. I remember meeting my buddy Eric Little, who was the bass player for Severed Head at the time. Then became the singer in Covenants, which is, I'm going to lead into this.
Yep.
And a great friend of mine. I really actually owe everything I'm doing now to him, because him introducing me to people got me where I am now. So I meet Eric Little at a Guitar Center in Towson, Maryland. I'm just ripping on the kit, and he's like, "Whoa, that sounds cool. Hey, I'm Eric." And we end up playing a show or two at a venue called Hal Daddy's in Baltimore, which is no longer a venue, which everybody had played at Hal Daddy's. Actually, Severe Torture, that band, they gave, I think, my band Tortured the greatest compliment when we played with them. The guys from that band said, one of them said, "We like death metal, but you were pretty cool." So we were like, all right, cool. Death metal dudes thought it was neat. All right. But so Eric Little asked me to try out for Severed Head. I played in Severed Head for years. And then Matt Byers goes to play, after leaving Misery Index, goes to play for Covenants, which has Vince Matthews singing, who was the singer for Dying Fetus, and Bruce Gregg, rest in peace, he's no longer with us, playing guitar. And Bruce was a touring guitar player for Fetus, and wrote some song lyrics, I think, for one of the songs off of Stop at Nothing. And Eric Little asked me to come try out for that. And actually, for years, Vinny had been telling me, "Dude, you should try out for Fetus. They don't have a drummer right now." And I didn't have enough confidence in myself, and wasn't even going to try that. So, well, ended up being in Covenants, recorded a EP with them, and then we opened for, we ended up, not Covenants. I saw that comment. Covenants.
Gun Ian.
But we ended up opening for Dying Fetus across Canada. And at the end of that tour, 2007, July 4th, 2007, Sean, our bass player, calls me up and says, "Hey, we'd like you to come try out." Oh, yeah. And here we are, some teen years later, and that's how I got into Dying Fetus.
Let me squeeze in a quick story. I probably
quick twice.
I know I'm doing that. I don't know why I'm doing that tonight. Because my mouth sucks and I don't fucking know how to speak.
My mouth sucks.
Get some Flint's Mints.
Flint's Mints, what are those?
They make your mouth water. They're good for stoners.
Oh, sick.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna mention my quick crazy story with Vinny, because
Vinny stories.
I
have a couple.
I had already known about him being the vocalist of Dying Fetus and all that shit, and then I went to Maryland Death Fest 2003. I don't know if this was 03 or 04. I went 2 years in a row, but one of the years I get there, no, it had to have been the first year, because it was at it wasn't at the Sonar. I forget the other place. Thunderdome. Yep. And that's funny that I forget that, which is such a thing that we bring up in other ways. But I'm walking through the crowd and I see Vinny wearing my band's shirt at the time, Carnivorous. And we were just selling shit out of the same place that I'm at right now. And I was like, there's no way that Vince knows that fucking who I am and what this is. How did he get the shirt? So I had to walk up to him and be like, "Dude, huge fan. How the fuck do you have this t-shirt right now? Because that's my band." And he said, "Hey, dude, yeah, dude, Derek Boyer gave it to me." So the shirt that I gave Derek Boyer back in the day, Derek secretly gave it to Vinny, and then he's wearing it at fucking Maryland Death Fest. And I'm like, this, even though it was just handed to him, as a vocalist, young age, my first death metal band that I started really getting serious with, I'm like, this is fucking one of those cool moments that kind of...
That's a big deal, dude. When you, like, I remember, like, Derek seeing them play at the Pound. He's wearing an Odious Mortem shirt, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like Suffocation's wearing our shirt. Like I was like, we were freaking out, just like seeing them, wear a shirt and stuff. And,
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what
a huge deal.
And another one too is just seeing Joel from Piamia wearing a Carnivore shirt on stage at the Bloodletting tour. That was, to me, it was like putting the Carnivorous logo on a fucking freeway sign, the fucking billboards on the freeway, just like posting my logo on that. That's what it felt like to me at the time. That in this small world that we're in, it felt so triumphant, to get
definitely,
just somebody who you grew up, you're into, they're now repping your shit, and you're just like, there's nothing else I need, dude.
Yeah. So when Vinny was in the band, there was a guitar player named Mike Kimball in Dying Fetus, correct?
Yeah. He was still in the band when I first started.
So that guy actually used to have a website when I was like right out of high school, and it had guitar tabs for like Cannibal Corpse and all these like bands and stuff, and his were the most precise, correct tabs. And he just disappeared, and I never heard of him again. Like, what have you kept in contact with him at all, or?
Every once in a while, he'll reach out. Typically, when he reaches out to Sean, our bass player, the most. When we have like an album release, and he'll be like, "Dude, this, I see you guys are still doing it. Congratulations!" I'm grateful to him. He's one of the voices that got me into Dying Fetus. So he's one of the people that had a call in doing it, and we did tour together. And an amazing guitar player, super great dude, nice guy. Can't say a bad thing about Mike Kimball. He is a good dude, and I don't really know what he's up to. He kind of was way into auto racing, like racing cars, and so I think he went and tried to pursue that as a hobby after Dying Fetus. But I really don't know what he's up to. Every once in a while, I'll send him a text and just say, "Hey, dude, just let you know I'm still grateful for your voice and your opinion and wanting to have me in the band." So wish him the best of luck.
Definitely. That was I always
awesome.
Like, I love that Vinny Mike Kimball whole setup that was going on, but then when it went back to a 3-piece, I was like, all right, this is the way it just needs to be. I feel like it was this punishing, like I just felt like a Rush thing. It's like there's not that 3 people can't make this much brutal music or a brutal sound all at once, and
it's like a power trio. It's like
like
the Police.
And definitely. I was going to ask you a question about the Summer Slaughter. That was a fun Summer Slaughter we did with what was it? Suffocation, you guys, Insiferum,
Necrophagist.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the headliner.
That was a crazy bill, dude. That was wild.
I still remember there's go. Do
you remember pushing the car pushing the car because Insiferum's bus was blocked in behind the House of Blues, and like 30 of us all got behind this car, shaking it, pushing it, and got it eventually out of the way.
I remember a bunch of dudes. We pushed a car out of the way like a neutral or something. We just fucking that was so funny.
Yeah, that was cool. And I remember I won like $300 playing the number 11 on roulette, and then the next time we play that House of Blues, I win another $300 playing one number on roulette again.
What?
And, but I haven't had that kind of luck since. So
which that again?
Seems like you need to go back to that House of Blues, dude. That's where
it's Mandalay Bay, right? Mandalay Bay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Was that in Vegas?
Yeah. That's where you guys.
That's the one. Okay,
Joel, you and your family used to always stay there, right?
No,
Mandalay
definitely. Definitely. I remember actually speaking of just touring and Suffocation when what's Red Blood Red? What's the album called? Red Blood something.
Blood Oath.
Blood Oath.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I remember like going after with like Frank afterwards, and like he took all their money they made that night, and he put it on Red for the album going out. He just.
I was at that roulette table when that happened.
Did it
and
hit?
he won.
And it hit. Yeah, it hit.
Oh, fuck yes, dude!
Oh
what a
my
fucking
god,
stupid
dude.
but awesome fucking move.
But I mean, it's kind of like it's you might lose, you might win, but it's like kind of just like It's just a
Fuck it.
fuck it,
That's
let's
what
do it.
you're-
You know.
Yeah. It's
So
like,
they won. How much? So how
And I
much-
try to take his luck, and I try because I like the year before I went there and just won a bunch of money, and I was like, I got good luck now, and just lost like $1,000, and I was broke as fuck. Already.
it's
Like, it was
stupid to think
terrible.
this way, but it's stupid to think this way. But the spontaneous moments where you're just like, fuck it, kind of, I think in my life have given me the hit more than the miss, dude.
Yeah, when you
in, like,
feel it.
gambling, when it's just like, oh shit, no, let's just fucking do this. Like you don't give yourself time to think. It's just the moment it arises, and then you just act on it, and then
You don't double think it. You're
Yeah.
just like, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah. Same. When I go like, what if I lose? Then I usually lose. That's usually the doubt usually kind of creeps in. But yeah. Then Franklin, he went and played a bunch of like poker and shit. He won. The next day I was talking to him. He won like thousands of dollars, and I was like, already broke as fuck, like in a van, and just like lost 1,000. I have to pay my rent, and just like fuck. And like, yeah, I partied a bunch. I'm just like all hungover and listening to the stories. I'm like, God damn it, dude! I was so mad.
That was good. That was a cool tour.
Ian,
I
I don't believe you, dude. He says he can't even win an argument with all the food posts you make. If you're serving that shit to your wife, dude, there's got to be no arguments, dude. You're talking about cooking all this crazy shit.
Well,
Marco had a question though. We were talking about Marco earlier. So what was the main challenge as far as like drum wise playing and Dying Fetus going from your previous project?
Oh man, trying to emulate all these other drummers' styles. It was a big change in a lot of ways, a lifestyle change. You know, I was going to tour a lot more. The eyes of the scene are on me.
Yeah.
You know, oh, there's a new drummer.
Yeah.
It's got to be. You can't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
so so it's a big step up. Like the fastest I ever had to play, and most complex stuff I ever had to play.
right.
Just I spent time working on it. I still am working on it. You know, it's a lifetime for me of trying to serve it justice,
Right.
and make the audience feel like they're hearing a Tally era song, a Eric Sayenga era song, and Rob Belton era, and then John playing. You know, just trying to do that, having to learn new techniques. I briefly on an episode I watched, I remember Joel and KC talking about that Summer Slaughter tour that we were on. And John from Origin, I think, was on that
the
one
doubles,
too.
the doubles,
and double strokes,
yeah.
and that is around the time I learned how to do that stuff, because we hadn't recorded Descend yet, and we did a tour with Origin, and I watched John do that. But actually, my friend Eric Little, who got me into Severed Head and Covenants, had shown me that technique previously, and I just but it never clicked here for me, and then. There, you know, in the feet. And then watching John, it something kind of clicked, talking to him a little bit about that, and then some of the things I had to do when it came time for me to record my Dying Fetus album, the first one I would be on, is oh my god, dude, the guys like wrote shit that was so beyond my level, and I had to find a way. And I will admit it, I will take whatever advantage I can get, you know, and I learned that double stroke thing. And once that clicked in my head, I was like, oh, cheat code. Sweet. Yeah, you know, and that's when I switched to Axis pedals, and then that made it a lot easier to do. And I record that album. I had a nervous breakdown while recording it at one point. You know, I was like, you know, it's like, holy crap, you know, you're under the microscope, you know, there's a looking glass on you, and you're trying to do good. And so, I mean, those are the things, those I guess would be the major things, and, you know, lifestyle changes, and then technique changes, and skill level changes. And
I remember you guys like in Cincinnati. I don't know why this is the memory, but Cincinnati on that Summer Slaughter tour. and you guys were all had the drum set up like there was no backstage. You guys were we were in the back just yard of the venue, and I remember you guys just all working on like doubles with like Longstreth, and because it was Origin was on that tour, correct or no?
Really? Interesting.
Yeah,
I think they may have been. Yeah,
they were.
Yeah. I think, and everyone was just kind of like trying to talk each, like taking different shots at it and trying to like get it going and try to get like the headspace to like actually understand, like to get the flow of it or something like that. And I was watching with the guys in Carnifex. I remember the Carnifex guys and Paul Ryan. Yeah, it was definitely Cincinnati. Paul Ryan got in trouble. It's like this weird like back area where there's like brick houses around it in Cincinnati, and Paul Ryan was pissing. Like we were all drinking, and he was pissing, and this guy came. He's all, "Don't fucking piss him out!" And Paul Ryan's like, like threatening Paul Ryan all crazy, and Paul's just all like, "Jesus, dude, I don't know. I'm sorry, dude." He was like all embarrassed and shit. But I remember that. And then like we were drinking Four Locos, like when they were like they hadn't changed the formula yet, so it was just like,
fuck.
yeah. It was like we called it stage sauce. That was my state. I mean. The Carnifex big old guitar player Ryan, I think his name was, the red-haired guitar player guy. Yeah. We would just every show we'd like go to the new venue, try to find more Four Locos, just one or two before we went on stage, and it was like, get us all amped. But yeah, that was a memory I have from that tour that sticks out of you guys all sitting there with a drum set around and kind of like outside and just like trying to like work on doubles. Remember that was the thing. That was like the next.
Yeah.
That was the next level of like.
Yeah, I never got into the. I never. I mean, I do doubles obviously with snare playing and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, my feet just like my right foot likes it, but my left foot just doesn't really like. I don't know. It's like I never really got to the. And like my drum teacher back in like like in high school and stuff was trying to tell me, dude, you got to do doubles with those feet. You could really do something cool with that and stuff, but. It's like I would always be like and just like couldn't really like get. I don't know. I have to like learn. I don't know what it is. I still have to do singles. It sucks. You guys got to show me the.
Okay, see, your singles are pretty fucking ripping. You're pretty good at what you do with your singles, bro.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I've spoken about seeing that tour before on the podcast in San Francisco. I actually took acid that day, and Dying Fetus blew my fucking brain open.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't really, when I looked at that bill, I was like, I love Necrophagus and Suffocation and Decrepit Birth already. Fetus I knew were good, but like they were the take home, like that was the change my life kind of set. And I'd say like now, like having seen Fetus a few times, it's like that was still a standout performance. Necrophagus kind of, that's the special only time I ever got to see them. That's kind of what sells that whole night. And Casey and I were hanging out at that set. But I just remember being up in the balcony for the Fetus set, and my friends and I were just like, oh, fuck. Like, it was so sick.
Cool.
So, are you done? Sorry.
Yeah. And I'll talk about Descended Depravity in a little bit. So.
Okay, so I have a Fetus story. So I have to say this. Okay, so this is one of the like little post-it notes from the pre-pod that I like had to pull out and go, yeah. So we get the. Anyways, my favorite story or my favorite like memory of playing with you guys was at the festival in Germany. So like
Death Feast. Death Feast.
Yeah, Death Feast. Is that what it was?
Yeah, with Cock and Ball Torture, us, Cryptopsy. You guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's the first Death Feast I played.
Yeah. It was 2008, 7, 8. Yeah,
I think we played right before Cryptopsy, right?
8. I think it was 2008.
So.
Yeah, you guys. It went Cock and Ball Torture, Decrepit, you guys, and then Cryptopsy.
Oh yeah.
And you guys. So we were. He's probably gonna bring this up.
Headlined.
Maybe you guys headlined. You guys headlined.
No. It was Cryptopsy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Cryptopsy. It was Cryptopsy. That's right. You guys pushed us back on stage, though. Is that what you're going to talk about, Casey? Not to kill your story, but like.
No.
Oh, okay. You were not saying, like, all you guys were like, it was Dying Fetus backstage, and you guys were like, because they were like, one more song, and then like it was like you, John, Paul, everyone's like, they fucking want you to go play another song. And we were like, okay, are we allowed to? What's going on? We just went out there and played a Suffocation cover. We played I forget what cover. Yeah. And my bass was unplugged the whole time, and I was playing the last.
Don't you guys?
It
Didn't
was
you
a
guys
party,
do
dude.
Liege? Is that what you guys did?
Oh, Liege. She was probably Liege.
Yeah.
University. Yeah. But
And
anyway,
you guys,
go,
did, and you
Well,
guys
okay.
covered
No,
Decrepit.
Casey's in the middle of a song.
You guys covered Deprecated at some point too, right?
Yeah, totally. Induced Deception, I think we did play or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, whatever. But my memory of that show was it was like a festival in Germany. We had like the bus and we were out there. We're like, whoa, this whole Europe, our only European tour that I did, at least with Decrepit, and it was like super awesome experience. And we're like, oh, we're gonna play this festival. And we were on the bus with Cryptopsy and Unmerciful. And then it was like, oh, we're gonna meet up with like these bands, and Dying Fetus is gonna be there, and like Kronos played, and all these bands.
Oh, Kronos, that's right.
Dude, it was they're from France, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was just like such a crazy like rad festival in Germany, and it was like I think the last show that we did before we went to the airport to fly back home, and it was in like H Unix or some I can't pronounce it. Hunks, yeah, okay.
Something like that.
In Germany. Yeah. Anyways, and so we were just like all excited. And it's like Dying Fetus is going to be there. We're just like, oh, it's going to be so great, and it was such an awesome day. But like we played, it was still like daytime. Oh, that's the day we met Lille out there too, as well. And so we've talked about that with Dying Fetus or Defeated Sanity.
Dying Fetus.
Anyways,
Defeated Sanity. DF.
Dying Sanity. Sorry.
Defeated Fetus, dude.
Defeated Fetus.
Defeated Fetus.
Nice.
God damn it. That's going to be forever now.
Defeated Fetus, dude. But yeah. Anyways, but Decrepit played earlier, and it was like still light out, like it was still like sunny and all this kind of stuff, and all the other bands, Kronos, we like watched all that kind of shit. But it got later, and then it was like we were like partying, and then came back out, and it was like got dark out, and then it was like Dying Fetus is gonna play, and this and that. And dude, you guys that night, I don't know what it was,
insane.
and I was up there in the front of the stage with Matt too from Decrepit and all of us. And
Me too. I was right the front, like in front of the barrier, right?
And it was just the three of you dudes, I think, and it was just like the tightest, most epic shit. And I just felt like I was like, we played earlier and we like did our best and we had a good show and all this kind of stuff, and then we just got like bitch slapped, dude. Like you guys were, and like in a friendly, awesome way. Like we were just like after that, we're just like we just went to school, dude. That was like this band. You guys were the tightest, heaviest, like sickest, and it was on this huge stage at night in Germany. It was like the most epic. We were just like. It was like so loud. We were just like,
I think it was an earlier.
I've seen Fetus a lot of times, but that was the greatest. Like, dude, that.
But I think you guys stopped having a second guitar player, so it was just. I think it was like the first like the earlier 3-piece shit, and we're like, I saw you guys as a three. We all saw you guys as a 3-piece, and I was like, oh fuck, this is the way it needs to be. It just crushed.
Just murdered.
I very much remember that set. And I remember getting off stage and I did this. I went, yeah! Oh! I was so fucking stoked.
Yeah, dude.
I was like,
I love it.
You couldn't sleep that night, dude. You were too amped.
I kind of remember saying, good luck, Cryptopsy, getting up there now. No offense to them. One of the greatest to do it, and they totally smashed, but I just remember just being oh fuck yeah. I was fucking pumped,
dude. It was insane.
That's so sick.
I think that's exactly what we're all chasing, right? Is to feel
you
got after a performance.
We all have bad shows, we all have bad like performances, but when you have like a really good one, it feels good to just be like that fucking
just kind of let it out.
And some people don't even give themselves that, dude. They don't give themselves a little pat on the back after those. In their minds, they're not allowed to feel it, but at the same time, they're still killing it.
Well, a feeling like that has taken me a long time to kind of accept.
Get back.
And that is to be able to enjoy the moment a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And accept that you're not perfect, and you're gonna make mistakes, and as long as I'm seeing the smiles out there and they're still moving, I think we did okay. And like if I'm hitting 70%. I've started to tell myself, okay, that's all right. I mean, I'm never not giving it my all, but you know, some days you just gotta up here, like kind of tell yourself, like, hey, look, it's what it was. It's fine. There's another show tomorrow, or there's another song. You got to play another song. So get out your head, you know, and get ready to play that next song and get ready to play that next show, and you know, try to do good and do your best.
I think
college. It's college. 70% is passing. You know, it's like you still get your degree with 70 or whatever. High school, you still get your degree with 70%. It's like,
but not even. It's I think it's a little bit different because you're not being graded every night. What it is I think there's a foundation of one. You're never gonna get the 100%. We never. You're gonna get as close as you possibly can, but nobody's gonna have.
It might be quitting time if you get 100%. It might be just like, all right, well, it's not important to me anymore. I'm perfect.
But
so let's move on. I have nothing more to improve on.
And now I'm gonna get hippy dippy. There's an energy that is kind of set in the room for a live show, and I think that if the energy is high in the room, Trey hits his 70%. That translates to 95 point blah 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 percent to most kids in that high energy, you know, crowd, because what we know as mistakes or whatever on stage, that doesn't really translate to the crowd as much as it does to us. We're being more I say we, I haven't been on fucking stage in forever, but I'm just saying as a performer, we're more hard on our performance than the kids who are just been waiting for 2 weeks to come see fucking Dying Fetus or whatever, you know?
Yeah. There's going to be the people that are just crossing their arms, kind of like on your shirt. No, sir, I don't like it. It's going to be like,
no, sir, I don't like it.
Yeah, they're going to be like, you know, it's great. That 5%, you hit 95, whatever, Anthony.
That one German kid at the front who's like at the end of the show, he's going, song number 3 at 2 minutes 52 seconds. I see your face. You frowned. Did you have a good meal today? Are you having diarrhea? Are you sick? I saw you.
That is so funny.
I love the Germans. They're great. I love y'all. It's one of my favorite countries. I'm trying to learn German right now, but I'm failing at it.
I love their just brazenness of just going like, because they're not coming in the same. They're not in the same mindset that you're like at. So they're going like, oh, I noticed that there was issues here. But like they're not going like, oh, you fucked up, like Americans kind of would be, but they're kind of just like, oh, I noticed there was a beat that was a little off. Was everything okay with your right wrist? You know, you're like, it's like they'll say shit, and you're just like, whoa, dude, like calm the fuck down. It's kind of like playing the Netherlands and stuff too. Just like a lot of this, like just like staring at you in the Netherlands, like. And then after you're off stage, it's like, dude, that was fucking sick. That was amazing. Yeah. You're like, what? Oh, I didn't really notice from anyone, but
yeah, I kind of throw Switzerland into that category as the Netherlands. They are. My whole shtick with them is, and another great. Some of the best merch sales we ever have is in Europe, is in Switzerland. So they're obviously great fans, and we love them. But you know,
very neutral.
They're not getting it in the pit, you know, as much as like the French go hard, and but like the Swiss, I take it as like, you know, I'm going to retire and I want my knees to be good, and I don't want to be infirmed when I want to go skiing in my retirement. And so they're really thinking this out, you know, they're planning ahead, you know. So they're like, I'm going to buy a t-shirt and I'm going to clap, you know. and, you know, but I love the Swiss. They're great. You know, awesome times down there. The
emotional expressions different in different cultures.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, totally, you know? totally.
I thought I don't even know if you guys remember this, but Montreal was kind of one of those crowds where they didn't do much during a song, but in between songs they would react, and in an energetic way. And I'm
yeah, later on with them, they got pretty hectic.
Oh, Montreal crowds are wild. Yeah.
Great.
It's probably it's like fucking crowd surfing, fucking all kinds of shit coming at us. And we're like, oh
yeah,
shit.
I wonder
Yeah,
what was going on the bloodletting. Maybe Odious was just a weird band, I guess.
No, we were brand new coming out, and they were just kind of like, all right, show yourselves. Like, show us what you. Why are
Show
you
me
here?
what you got.
There was
Like,
a
why
lot
are you?
yeah.
Yeah,
It was like
it's kind of it's a totally why are you here? Like, why are you here? Show me why you're here, and then maybe I'll react. Because I remember like Decrepit played because we were like doing Odious, and Casey did the double duty with Decrepit, and for Decrepit they went like violent. Like it was kind of like it was sketchy like in the audience. But yeah, it's just different cultures, like you said. It's a lot of people. There's cultures that watch and want to see what the fuck you're doing, and I love that because they want to know the technicality of the music. Obviously, on stage, you want them to go crazy, but like they're very interested in actual like the song structure and how you play it live and all the things, and they want to break all that down. It's more like cognitive.
Kind of weird to them, I guess.
Yeah, and then if you're at go ahead, Trey.
No, please continue.
I mean, it's just saying like there's certain other places where it's kind of like let's get drunk, and when it's heavy, let's mosh and get violent. Like it's just a dichotomy of those two.
And different scenes too. We just played a hardcore festival down in Tampa, the FYA festival, and we're the only death metal band on the bill.
Well, I saw that video.
Dude, I saw footage, and it was actually fucking sick to watch, dude.
It was freaking cool to play.
It gave me goosebumps. It made me be proud.
Sorry.
It made me it made me be proud of you guys and just like, I mean, I know that your guys' music could be, if we're talking languages, it's a different dialect, but could be understood. It's like Spanish and Italian, maybe, when it comes to Dying Fetus and hardcore music. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, obviously there's other elements, but I'm saying there's enough elements in Dying Fetus that I think that, and maybe it's also, things are progressing and things are still merging, and now what was more separated when we all were coming up in this scene is now just like bleeding into each other to where everybody can have a good time if there's fucking brutal breakdowns, dude.
Throw a slam in there and get in the pit, right?
Yeah, dude.
I saw a lot of a lot of people share that FYI Fest footage around. It was kind of going viral, and a bunch of my bandmates were like, "Dude, watch this." I did want to get Trey to say a little bit more about what it was like to play that.
Yeah. Oh, it was super rad. We got a lot of great love from people around there. The guys from Trapped Under Ice are a Baltimore band also, and I've met them previously, and they were Justice wanted to sing Bringing Back the Glory with us, and we just didn't have time to really like come to an agreement with. I was separated from the other dudes in my band, and I was just like, look, let's just skip that. And we had Colin from Twitching Tongues come up and do the Integrity cover with us, which was cool. We catered our set list for that show. We played our hardcore centric music, and I kind of was wondering, like, what if we brought like Dying Fetus stuff, like the faster, the more tech stuff? How would it go over? And I know how it would have now after watching it. The few times we did dive into the more high speed and more technical parts, more tremolo picking, the hardcore kids just
cross arms,
glazed over a little bit.
They turned to Swiss. All of a sudden.
But I mean, people were still enjoying it, but but they kind of okay, no, that's not really my vibe. And then when we get the slam again, and the windmills and the stage dives and happen. But what I was going to mention is in the comments section on one of the full sets, it's kind of wild to me. that, and one of you guys was mentioning I think it was Anthony mentioning like how people are, I guess, a little bit more gelling with different styles of music. Sort of not when you look at that comment section.
I'm looking right now.
It's some of the Feet First Productions video, and you see a lot of the metalheads not appreciating.
So I would make this argument that I
style.
think that YouTube comment sections are the one place that the people are trying to still dig their feet into the sand, you know, and that's where. But in other aspects of society, I think there's blending. And when you listen to new bands coming out and how many bands are incorporating like so many different influences in their music, I think that really is the telltale, 100% true aspect of how things are. I feel like I'm banned.
But that was, I mean, as far as like on the Summer Slaughter tour, one of the things I remember the most, because we were on tour with like Born of Osiris. There was like all these like Winds of Plague. There was these bands on there, and there was Necrophagist, and there was Suffocation, there was Dying Fetus, there's Decrepit, there was Insufferum. There's like these random bands, and I remember like it was such a battleground for like selling merch, or just like so many different styles built into one tour package. And I remember Dying Fetus was the band where everyone was down. It wasn't like there was no divisiveness in death metal versus breakdowns or anything like that. Like Dying Fetus came out and it was like, God damn it, these motherfuckers are death metal and they're heavy as fuck. You guys were just crushing, and I was like, it was the perfect style. That was, and that's what's really cool about it. It's one of the most old school death metal bands. It still influenced so many different styles of music that they're hugely prevalent today, but it's still death metal. It's still like old school death metal. It still has that title. Like it's not. You can't really take anything from Dying Fetus and not being old school death metal.
Dying Fetus is more chameleon-esque. Like that's what I was gonna get.
But you have it's like a gross. You have to make the gross face, and like no matter if you're death metal, you go like, yeah.
But they are just as important as Cannibal Corpse and Suicide and Deeds of Flesh, and like Dying Fetus, Deeds of Flesh are very like similar to me. Like as like
everybody remembers when they first heard Dying Fetus.
It's like the East Coast.
Yeah.
Let's go around the horn, even including Trey, real quick. When was the first time you heard Dying Fetus and John Gallagher's fucking growl, dude? Let's do it. I know exactly where I was.
Start with Trey.
In my head right now where I was.
Well, since it's so clear, tell us, go for it.
All right, I was in the warehouse parking lot at the Metro 280 in Daly City, dude.
Jesus, address.
I fucking bought the fucking
zip code, dude.
CD, and I could not wait to. I couldn't even start my car before I had to listen to this album because I was just so geeked out on Relapse. Anything that was Relapse and those Contamination compilations were heaven sent for a fucking young death metal head that only had $8 in his pocket, and you would get a double disc that would give you 35 tracks or whatever, and you'd go back the next time and you saved up your money to get the next couple of rounds of records, and Destroy the Opposition was it, dude. And fucking that, I put that album in, and it was one of those literal game changer things that, I mean, I don't even know. I heard John Gallagher before I heard Maddie, so Maddie was another game changer too. But just to hear somebody be able to manipulate their voice and a microphone to sound like that was something crazy at that point, dude.
I got into them for Purification through Violence, like back in the 90s shit. I've just loved everything they've ever done, man. Like they're just like, dude, one of the bands that's like, oh, they're just like on the top with they're on the list with Cannibal and Deicide and Dying Fetus. They're just on that top list of top tier bands, like always, like just rip. always have ripped.
Yep.
Well, that's great praise, guys. Thank you very much. I'm sure everybody who's been in the band and still is in the band, I can say we're all very grateful and feel all very lucky and fortunate to be where we are. It's not, and as you guys know, it's not everybody gets to do it like this,
Right.
you know.
Especially where we're at, dude. No doubt.
You know, and it's you know, we play in a blasphemous kind of music, but it's a blessing. You know, it's a blessing, really. It is.
Yeah, and I think it's like so cool how great you guys are as a real band. Like you guys are so good live, and your records sound so good and all that. And it's just like,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not. It's the opposite of a disappointment live. You're like, oh shit! It's like you see,
yeah,
yeah, you see like the crowd just
crushes. Yeah,
I know. My favorite was my fiance was not even into death metal at all. We went to that Suicide Silence Dying Fetus show in Berkeley. We all went to dinner and stuff after. Remember, we were like running around the town afterwards. But I was like, she's like completely like not like death metal, you know. And like to see you guys come off stage, I was like, oh fuck, I want to talk to Paul and John. I've talked to these guys for a long time, and Trey. And she's like, everyone was so nice and mellow, and like it was like, because she's like telling her like coworkers, I'm gonna go see Dying Fetus after work. You know, like, you know, it's like totally just
with
cute
what
and
Trey
adorable.
said about it being blasphemous, and we want it to be blasphemous, but it's actually the opposite, dude, because this style of music that we're talking about, you know, kill your mother, rape your dog, all this kind of shit. But not just that's just the Dying Fetus example of it, but all of us have this, you know, crazy imagery that we assign to our music, and it's such an extreme, fast, pummeling, you know, thing that we do, and to the people outside of this, it's more extreme than it really is to us. But blasphemous, it's anti-blasphemous because, dude, how many people come together on a positive note because of this stuff? You know, it's bringing people together. I'm doing this show with Casey and Joel, who I've known for 20 plus years. I just probably cut out a little bit. Sorry. 20 plus years with Casey and Joel. Joseph has been my homie ever since we started doing this shit. Trey from Dying Fetus on here right now. We're all just jamming and talking about how we fucking love this shit. That's not blasphemy at all, dude. This is all love, dude. It's kind of crazy how positive this negative, in quotations, style of music is to everybody outside of this.
I'm sure they'll study it one day. It's like it's a therapy that we're all involved in. It's like yeah, it's an aggressive form of music, but like I'm smiling with like a tear coming down my eye when shit gets like heavy. Like it's not. I'm not like fuck yeah, fuck everything, fuck. I'm like this is sick. This is so good. This is like a rush, dude. This is like exactly what I've been, you know, seeking. It's a trip to see how chill a lot of these extreme death metal bands are. Like hanging out with them, it's like they're sweethearts. They're all like the nicest people I know. Like if you bring out a lot of these death, like think about the hardest band you could think of, like Defeated Sanity or something. You're like, they're all adorable sweethearts. They're like the nicest people because they have a good outlet for their negativity or whatever, and it permeates through everyone. I mean, it's a very interesting thing.
It's just like making like a rad movie or something. I mean, to think that that's like a neg. I mean, and I know what you mean, but like, it's like, dude, it's like, it's not negative at all. It's like, you know, it's like, even though it's like this negativity thing, you know, you think it's like negative, but dude, like death metal music or like a horror movie or like whatever, it's not negative. Like it's like positive.
Yeah, but that's to the people who don't want to see that this is just like something fun that everybody got.
Yeah, but I think everyone gets it. Like it's like, oh, like I love the, like, you know, we're like wearing shorts with like death metal things, or we're like, you know, fucking rocking out, like whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
I think it goes back to what Trey said though, because when he first heard death metal, and same
Yeah.
with me, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, when a lot of people have to hear that they have to hear something insane for the first time. They don't get to take the step ladder and go Slayer, Metallica. They don't get to do that. They just get to hear like, like straight up, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" They're jumping so many levels at once. They're like, they want to.
They don't like get the context of all that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So Trey, what's your favorite color?
Green.
That's a great pick, dude.
It's a beautiful color.
It's a beautiful
and money colored green too.
Oh shit!
No.
Did we ask this about? Someone asked Trey if he remembers Dying Fetus spreading fans' ashes on stage.
Whoa,
two times.
Oh wow,
two times.
What?
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah, 2 different times we've had that request been made. Yeah,
wow.
One time I believe Chicago at Reggie's.
Okay.
And another time that I'm not quite remembering. But
Okay,
I think it's been twice. We've had some wedding proposals. We've had what other wild shits happened at shows? Oh, remember that show Cheaters?
Yeah.
They filmed an episode at a Dying Fetus show.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a real show? I thought that was like a scripted show. Is that real?
Nah.
It was a show on television. I don't know how real the situations were.
Yeah, it's a Jerry Springer outside of a studio.
We played. It was at Trees in Dallas, I think, and I think Cattle Decapitation and Cerebral Bore were on that tour with us. And the producers came up and they said, "Hey, look, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna have a fight. Can you guys stop playing for like 2-3 minutes while we usher everybody outside?" And so an episode of that happened. Oh, and other things like South Park and those are pretty cool. But that's not a live
Christ.
thing.
Can we,
okay,
you guys even know what he's talking about? You guys,
because that blows my mind. But I have one question.
Okay.
Do you, when you're at a venue and your request to spread a fan's ashes is going to happen that night, what deal do you have to make with that venue, and how the fuck does it get cleaned up? Like
it wasn't like a whole urn.
Okay.
It was a vial. It was a vial. It was a vial. In one situation, and John we didn't ask permission.
There you go.
I mean, there's worse shit on that floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had to walk through pig entrails after a band before us, so it's all good, dude. I know what you're talking about.
He's just like, "Hey, we're gonna spread some ashes. If you don't want to get them covered on you, then back away." And and people actually were like, didn't really mind. It seemed to get covered in somebody's ashes, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely an honor that somebody thought that we meant so much to them that they wanted us to be a part of their end of life.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. It's pretty wild, pretty neat.
It is, dude.
Humbling.
It's next level for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For that to be a part of a live performance where you're like, oh shit, dude, we've done this. Something I'm a part of has made somebody so passionate about it to where a piece of them, they want a piece of them to be a part of it after they're gone, Oh
yeah. Now there's a thing that you don't want to do, and you do want to ask the venue permission, and that is glitter. They do not like glitter being spilled without prior notice. Yeah,
I tried to get that. I got a daughter, dude. I fucking getting that shit out of my clothes every week, dude. And it doesn't work.
Stripper fairy dust.
Hey,
where were you at tonight?
She's only 6, dude. Come on.
No. I mean, definitely not your daughter. But I'm like, if you went out on the town with your buddies and you come home and you got a lady in your life and she's like, "What? You all glittery.
Yeah.
Where were you?" I know where you were. Stripper pixie dust.
So let's go back to the South Park. I remember that fucking. How did you get involved? Who reached out to you? How did that happen? Because I remember watching that and going like, oh my god, Dying Fetus is on South Park. This
Yeah,
is like
dude.
one of my
Oh.
favorite shows of all time. And yeah, go ahead.
It's a new
that
age
story.
Beavis and Butthead moment kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot of traction from that. We got a lot of good press from that. We were notified by our manager. Our manager had been notified by somebody on the South Park team that the guys were going to possibly use some of our music, and we would find out the day of the airing. And so I found out when you found out.
Jesus.
And I was very happy.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. Oh,
That's not us.
That's not you?
No.
no,
shit.
and actually, let's not get this fucking shit taken down. We got Trey from Dying Fetus on, dude. Let's.
Yeah, we've had warnings on a couple videos, so
I just don't want to get like not
Warnings to not get
we
paid.
don't get fucking monetization. We don't get monetized. But I
Yeah,
just
we're
don't want to
not.
get kicked out of an algorithm
Right.
for people that might want to get this shit.
Well, that wasn't the song. That wasn't.
No, that's a different band. They use two different
Okay.
bands. We're at the very beginning of
Oh.
the episode. Like literally the first 30
okay,
seconds of the episode is us, and they use Second Skin, and that's a band I think called Death Decline from France.
Oh, okay.
hmm So
Was that when you're a part of like a a show like that? Is there any kind of like monetization? Speaking of being, getting monetization taken away from a podcast, is there any kind of anything that they throw at the band or anything, or is that just like it's good promotion? So you just go like, fuck it.
yeah.
Come on, what kind of question was that, dude? We're
Nothing,
talking death metal
nothing,
here, bro.
nothing, dude.
Well, he's saying nothing. He's answering the question.
You know how they treat hard rock and the
Yeah,
rock
yeah.
world.
Yeah.
You're
That's what I
gonna do
figured.
it for exposure.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm not gonna argue. And this is this is a totally different subject, but this is kind of a mindset thing, and with like where people are called sellouts if they actually start making money and things like that. Where there's certain genres of music like hip hop, electronic music, most pop music. Making money is the goal. That is the thing. Like hip hop artists aren't even playing. They haven't even released albums yet. They haven't even released. They've just on like a couple mixtapes.
They're only in it for the money,
and they're demanding to get paid. Right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you can be an up and coming, just indie rock act, and if you're not paying your dues, you have a lack of legitimacy.
Yeah.
And
God
I think that.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's noble and it gives us honor, and like you can wear that as a badge of that says I slept in a van for 15 years, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell me about fucking playing music. But it's like, but at the same time, it's like, well, wait a minute, don't you want to be appreciated for what you do and hopefully get compensated for it?
Yeah.
So a bit of me was kind of like, oh, we're really getting nothing, but it's benefited us.
Benefited.
You're talking like me right now, dude.
We have gotten enough out of that it was definitely worth it, and and I have no regrets about it. But what I was more discussing is just a general like mindset of the hard rock world. It's man, you got to come up, and I liked them before they got paid. And where's their anger? Where's their anger coming from? And I'm guilty of that same mindset too. But I don't know. A little bit older I get, I kind of like look at the hip hop and the EDM and these other worlds, and I'm kind of like, man, that's the right attitude. But I wouldn't play death metal if I wanted to make crazy stacks of cash. This is still what makes me excited to play. It makes me want. It makes me. I don't know how to do anything else. I am a one-trick drummer. I can play death metal. That's it. I can't play jazz. Don't ask me to sit in with your reggae band. But you want me to fill in on a grindcore set or play a Suffolk, play a cover of Pierce from Within? Give me a call.
Yeah. Exactly. No, it's definitely like it's for me with like my reading, because I'm like super like reading something and I'm not into it anymore, and I'm just like my brain just goes 20 different directions. But if I'm into it, I'll give it my all, like all my attention. It's one of those things where I have to be really into it to actually give a shit about
No, but
you know.
with Trey saying that it'd be nice to be compensated for how much we probably we put more, because the goal is with those types of music, you're getting compensated financially, because it's just about all the people that are into it, but we're not. It goes back to what I said in the beginning of the thing, which is we do it for us first, and I guess
Yep.
that is what fucks us in the end.
It's also a style of music that is not designed for broad acceptance.
No, it isn't.
This is a place for different ideas and not exactly appropriate concepts. This is not a place for sunshine and rainbows and puppies.
How we get paid is in emotions and energy from this. Like the currency we get we are getting compensated for our art. But how we're getting paid is not the green, which is your favorite color and your favorite, you know.
It's just my favorite color, really. That's it. But I definitely didn't want that to go down too much of a road where it's like just about money. Because if it was about money, I'd be playing a different style of music.
All of us would be.
It is, we all would be. And this is what, and like you said, this is what I like. I like to do this. This is what I do, and it brings me joy, and it makes me happy. And
but
the
you
1 hour on stage,
you get to your level, then you can tour it out and you can make this a living. That's what I love about it too, is that you can make this a successful living if you just grind out, dude. And getting a gig like Fetus, that is such a longevity act that we were talking about earlier, that is something that is a staple name in all of us death metal guys that have been coming up since the 90s. That is something that I would say, yeah, dude, this would be a cool career to have, dude. If I taught myself in high school, you didn't start playing until high school, right? Drums.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and soon after that, how old were you when you joined Fetus?
27.
Okay, so you had high school. So you roughly had like a decade of playing.
Mm-hmm.
Little plus
about as much. Yep.
And
17 is about when I
grind
started.
out for that decade, a little plus, and then finally get this gig that now has been something that you can do every year. Like, travel the world doing this, dude.
Very, very fortunate. Very grateful.
Definitely.
Yeah. Very grateful to the guys in my band for giving me the chance. Grateful to the fans, everybody who comes to a show. I think that one of the thing that really is the payoff is when I get to meet people that say that like what I do means something to them, and that's freaking rad. And then also to meet and be understood by my peers. I just would like to spend since I'm saying I'm grateful for things. I'd like to just spend a moment and thank some people from the scene that have meant a lot to me and helped me out. Everybody in Origin who's ever been in it. John has been a great friend and ally, and
I back it 100%.
got me my deal with Pearl, and has been awesome. Paul Ryan, that band is one of my favorite bands to tour with. Paul's a great friend, and Steve Bolognese, I'm probably Bolognese, he used to play drums for Into Eternity. He gave me the opportunity to be on the Sabian roster. Everybody back at old Axis and now current Axis, Zed, with all of his support for me. My buddy Eric Little, who got me into Severed Head and into Covenants and into where I am now. John, Sean, and Mike from Fetus for giving me a chance to be here overall. And then, everybody in my personal life, my parents, my ex-wife for being okay with me taking this chance and doing this. And, I'm probably leaving some people out, but, I definitely feel very fortunate and have a lot of gratitude for where I'm at and everything like that. And I'd like to switch it up. I'd like to ask everybody else a question, though.
All right.
Do it.
Okay.
Let me
All
make one statement on what you just said. That was a great little thing that you just had, dude. And it's awesome to have like a tight knit support system. And it sounds like that's what you got, dude. And like, I think that's totally part of the foundation of why you are who you are, because of how you're able to just acknowledge the people that made an impact on you, dude. Because I don't know. What you just did just made me feel like you got your solid fucking web, dude. And I just love that, dude.
Well, thank you. And actually, somebody who's been in the comment section, Ian from Sick Drummer.
Yeah.
Every one of us death metal drummers owe him a debt of gratitude for shining a spotlight on
even
what we
non-drummers, dude.
And
Ian's a fucking dude.
Yeah. But thanks, dude. Appreciate that. You did a lot for us. So
Fuck yeah.
segue onto something maybe just a little funner. All right. So let's talk about some tour stories. All right.
All right.
All right.
That's
So some of us got some tour stories, and I'm going to start with the first time I shat my pants as an adult.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. So we were playing a show at this venue called The Pinch down in DC. And by the way, I probably should have pinched a little harder.
The pinch.
But we had previously played there, and I got heat stroke and threw up during Praise the Lord. It was like our last song in the set. And this venue is a basement venue. The walls were sweating. Everybody's sweating. Everything is sweating. There's too many people. Fire hazard, right? And I get heat stroke, and I have to stop. And I was debating on just like puking all over my kit.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh fuck, man, I ain't cleaning that up. So I just turn around and just let it go. And I stop. And I was like, fuck, this is happening. This is happening. I can't stop this.
Right.
And
what'd the band do?
Turned around and looked at me like, oh, he's throwing up. And some kid goes, I'll finish it. I was like, fuck, you will. And then we count in, and we play the last part of Praise. But so we play the pinch again later. And I remember from back when I used to play paintball a lot, I would pre-hydrate with Pedialyte.
Nice.
Right? The baby Gatorade, right?
Yep.
And so I got 2 of those because I was like, I'm going to be real hydrated for this show.
Yeah.
Well, God damn it, guys, don't do that because it makes your fucking stools loose. And I farted. I farted and I made a mess in my drawers, man.
Ooh,
I made them. That's the first time I crapped my pants as an adult. It wasn't like a full-on shit, but oh, and Casey's dog just shat somewhere. Okay.
I never shit myself on tour,
but yeah.
Still going.
Yeah, but that's that. No, so I jumped in the van, put on my show clothes, threw away the underwear, and then proceeded to tell everybody that I just did this.
How bad of a shat though? Because there's a sliding scale of shit. Because people say that I shit my pants, and that just means they had to wipe a couple times. Or did you actually shit in your pants, and did it hit your legs?
No solid matter, no real dripping. Okay. It was just like juice between the cheeks.
Yeah. So
but it's but does it really matter in the end?
It does though. Actually, it's funny for me. Pat Kenny, Dan Kenny's little brother. I went to his house right after I shit my pants for the first time in this chair, but I cleaned it. Yeah. But in this chair for the first time about 2 2 years ago, and I was like sitting. I was like after like a night of IPAs and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, I just need to fart real quick, and I was like, and I was like, that's warm, and the warmness is continuing for too long. And I was like, oh god, maybe I need to go check this out. And I went downstairs and just I shit like I diarrheaed like in my pants and my ruined shorts, ruined boxers. And it's my first time in my life shitting my pants. So I'm confused. I'm kind of going like, what's going on? I pulled down my pants, like, what the fuck is happening? And I hit up Pat Kenny randomly called me, and I was talking to him, and I was like, dude, I just shit my pants. I thought like it would be like a log coming out. He's all, dude. He's all, just FYI. He's all, shitting your pants is always wet, dude. It's not like a log coming out like into your leg. Like I always thought that's what it was. And he gave me like a dad advice.
Nobody shit their pants with a healthy stool. You know what I'm saying?
A log is
Bristol
like a
stool chart,
plan.
dude. If you're on the healthy side of that stool chart, there's no way you're shitting your pants unless it's voluntary. That's it, dude. You're like, I learned a lesson. Digestive system. I'm still gonna shit my pants. No, what happens is like too much beer, or jambalaya in New Orleans, like me. Shout out Murray, dude. We had a freaking gator burger and some jambalaya, and we shared it, dude. And that night, dude, I had a mountain of feces come out of my body, dude. And I left it there. And people were even like, dude, who just... And I was just like, it wasn't me, dude. Because it was so intense, dude. I could not believe it came out of my body. All right. Well, how's everybody else doing tonight?
Well, I liked the support from. Like, speaking of, you talked about support earlier with Trey and his drumming and stuff like that. When I told everyone that I shit my pants, they were all like, "It's your first time." Like, we've all done this movie. They all supported me. Like, you're an idiot, dude. You never shit your pants. Like the way you drink and eat. Like, what the fuck's your problem? And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's because I was like freaking out. I was like, what the hell just happened? You know, like. Anyways, tour. Are we talking about like just tour, like malfunctions? Is what kind of we went to the shitting part, but
anything. I just led with shit, just because like most of my good stories are around shitting, or something and related to shit. But yeah,
interesting stories do happen.
That's just what I do.
Bathrooms.
Yeah. Barfing. No. I mean, for me, the craziest one is on tour with Black Dahlia on their Nocturnal tour, and I've told this story before, but just hit with like feedback, at the El Corazon in Seattle, and hit with like this feedback that was just devastatingly, like my whole equilibrium went off, and I just like got dizzy and shit because they have those monitors on the sides too and on the middle, so it's like it came from like the left or the right, and it blew my ear. I'm pretty sure that's why I'm like deaf in my right ear is that show, and it basically, I fell back on Casey's drums when it hit me like if someone just punched me in the face. Like it was all bam. It was this insane shrieking feedback, lost vision, and was like, what the fuck, and fell back and was like, whoa. And I remember like, cause like we got the whole, it was like us, it was Decrepit, 3 Inches of Blood, Hate Eternal, and Black Dahlia. But they like had it where they got to drop the lights and we got to sound check and everything because we were the opening band. And I couldn't find my earplugs. I was like, what the fuck are they? And someone like took them or something. And it's like, whatever, fuck it. It's going to be a sick show. And I like hearing it without earplugs anyway. And I'm 22 at the time, 23. And I got hit with like feedback that I'm still deaf to this day from, not to end with a sad note, sharding's funnier. Shitting your pants, you can wash your pants. You can't wash your eardrums. But that was like
talking about throwing away underwear. You're like, dude, my eardrum.
I know, like, I was sad. I apologize. That was weird. That was a weird story. All right, Joseph, you go next.
No. I've shit my pants, but anyway, first time I publicly admitted it. It was
the truth comes out on the Cali
on the record.
yeah. But that's all I'll say. I
gotta know details now, dude. Where was it at? How did?
Okay, this is a safe space.
Yeah, dude, we're all good. The internet goes out to all the way to Indonesia and shit, dude. It's good, dude.
I was in our Airbnb with the band that I was playing with, and I think I was in the bathroom, and I think I was urinating and letting out a fart. So I was very, very close to the toilet.
Such a bummer. You're so close.
By the way, if you can fart while you're peeing and keep the stream, dude, you're a fucking pro, dude.
Yeah.
If I had just peed sitting down, it would have been a success, a win, not a loss.
Win-win.
But yeah, I know we're coming on 2 hours. I want to make sure Trey gets to go out tonight after our
he
pod.
bailed on the story, dude.
So that's as far
No
as I'll
cleanup. Still,
Cool
no.
segue, dude. I like that.
So I want to make sure you have a chance to talk about the tour you're announced with.
Yeah.
Is it Full of Hell? Is that the other band?
Full of Hell. Let me pull up the flyer because my memory is absolute dog shit these days. Yeah, so we just announced and we just released a new song video for Throw Them in the Van. This is the first video that any of us in the band have actually acted in.
Oh,
So that's all of us. That's all of us actually acting in the video. You might not be able to tell it's me, but I'm the one with the ski mask on.
All right.
And we actually abduct my buddy Eric Little and his girlfriend Angela and a dude I cannot remember his name in the Suffocation shirt from the New England Metal Hardcore Festival, and we filmed some live footage at that too. But the tour that we announced is with Full of Hell, 200 Stab Wounds, and oh my god, I'd have to pull it up. I cannot read their logos. Wow, I'm a bad death metal
I got it
guy.
right here.
Dude, none of us can read death metal logos anymore. We've lost the language. We can read that one though, dude. That one we can definitely read.
Well, it's starting on the April 25th.
Oh, that's Cruelty.
Cruelty. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. I've heard of them. Yeah, we're doing another tour. It's mainly American, northern U.S., going up into Canada a little bit. Play for the Canadians, and there's going to be a lot of touring going on this spring and summer for Dying Fetus. New album, new tour cycle. We're going to do some European stuff, festivals over there. Got a real exciting fall tour in Europe that we can't announce yet, but it's going to be a really solid ass lineup. We've really been stoked about the way this new album's been received. It's been the best selling album that we've ever done.
Totally.
And we were super stoked with that. We got it mixed by Mark Lewis, and we did principal tracking with Steve Wright here in Baltimore, which we've done everything from Descend on to with him, and couldn't be happier with the way it sounds. I think it's the best sounding drum sound, at least, for that I've gotten out of an album, and really stoked with the way that is. And
talk about the Fetus writing process a little bit. How does Fetus write a song nowadays? You know?
So we go out and we find several feral cats. And then we put a bunch of newspapers around, and then we have them fight, and then whatever like whole sentences are kind of left in the newspapers, then we form those into song lyrics, and then
like
to write music. We just go to ChatGPT, you know. It's just like, hey, write a
brother. That's coming soon.
Write a Dying Fetus
tell AI to make this make sense, and then it just.
Yeah, but that's not how it happens. What really happens is we all get around a cauldron and we mix a bunch of weird witchy shit. And no, but in reality,
no fetuses are no fetuses.
No fetuses are harmed. They're not. No fetuses are harmed in the making.
Yeah.
No. That would be bad. That'd be bad. But John likes to get like demo his songs out with people, and he works with somebody to kind of, build out a song. And then I get sent a rough outline of a song. And for the past 2 albums, I've been writing all my stuff in MIDI. Nice. and writing it all out ahead of time. And then sometimes I have an electronic kit that if I don't really feel like I can write the thing that I'm trying to do, I'll drum it out. And we actually kind of like write song titles, and then sometimes a song title inspires a song structure. And then sometimes like for instance, Throw Them in the Van, that song was kind of inspired by songs like Pissing in the Mainstream and Kill Your Mother, Rape Your Dog. It's a short, quick, grindy song, and we kind of put that together like that. The previous album, Wrong One to Fuck With, me and John did the pre-production on that, and he sequestered himself with me, and then we put that together. But over COVID, we were living in different places now. I'm the only one that's still locally to like our home base. I'm the only one that lives in Maryland anymore. And then so I basically get like a homework assignment, and then I have to write something out, and then we'd be back and forth it, or, and then
were you rekindling your hip hop roots with the wrong one to fuck with type shit?
He's all not really.
Or was John? Because I know
noise
John has a background in his.
Oh yeah, he has like a deep love for like 90s gangster rap, like stuff like that. He likes Ghetto Boys and some stuff like that. Dude. So and that stuff inspired some of the vocal patterning for early Fetus. I mean, you can kind of hear that like kind of hip hop back and forth with stuff off of Purification Through Violence.
Totally can.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's speaking of like gangster hip hop with John, me and John and John Longstreth were all smoking a joint outside of the rave. Like there's like a back parking lot there, like behind the venue, and we were smoking and stuff. There was a shooting. It was a shooting, and a bunch of people started running. And we're like, what the fuck's going on? We were all like high, going like, what the fuck's going on? And like, I just want to throw that story in there. It's coming back to me as we talk more, but I was like, we got to witness someone start firing shots and a group of people running and stuff. And we were like, whoa, all stoned. Just like, whoa, dude, Jesus Christ. But, I could tell like from that style of Dying Fetus has definitely like a gangster rap. Because people do this, people do the same moves that they would like a sick beat at a. They're like, it's the same kind of like vibe that you get from a Dying Fetus song that's hitting like everyone hard, or like a hip hop beat that's hitting someone hard. You know what I mean?
We got a little bounce.
We got
a little bounce.
No, but it's very. You guys are such a cross fucking genre band, and that's why I think like you guys have influenced so many different styles of music, and we're seeing it now blow up in different avenues and stuff. But just fucking keep doing what you're doing. Is there a new I'm drunk right now, but a new album coming out anytime soon, or
they just
well, actually we are starting to do some demo stuff already, so
nice.
So
awesome.
I mean, we don't intend on having another 2 5-year gaps between albums, like the one between Rain and Wrong One, and then Wrong One to the one we have now. We don't want that big gap anymore. And COVID kind of made that gap happen for the latest one. And then just so much demand for us to tour during the Reign Supreme tour cycle is kind of what pushed us back from getting Wrong One out sooner. Because we were just getting offers and there's a lot to do. So we don't intend on having another gap like that. So we're already getting started working on stuff. And there's backlogs of ideas that John's got. And
have you guys thought about going down the rabbit hole of what bands are doing nowadays, where they release they do 2 songs and Spotify only? Or
we kind of did that.
Okay.
With this release, because we almost a year before the album was out, we put out Compulsion for Cruelty, and then a couple months later we put out Unbridled Fury, and then we put out oh Jesus Christ, I don't even know my own damn songs. Shit, I don't know. Well, we put out 2 other ones, but we put out 2 songs well before the album was even released, teased to be coming out. So we kind of did that.
It's not for us, dude. I'm just speaking from me, dude. I still, when bands put out the singles, I'm reluctant to listen to the singles until the album comes out, because I still like to listen to an album in full.
But you also got to think about what's best for the band. The best for the band is not album sales or money from streams.
But
it's for them touring. So if you release a 3-song thing,
I'm not the one there,
and then be and tour their song.
I'm not the one they're marketing to then, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm the one they're waiting for to be into the full album when it comes out. I'm not the guy that they're marketing.
You're the wrong one to
those
fuck with.
singles. I'm the wrong one to fuck with, bro. You know, it really is true. But you want multiple. You want to be able to.
But you have to
market
adapt to the
Yeah.
landscape though of what's going on now, and like
I'm not saying
if they
it's
could release
wrong.
if they could release a 3-song thing and then hit the road again, and it's like it's the same as if you release a full album, then
When I make that statement, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that I'm the old guy now. I'm still waiting for the full album, guys, and then I'll listen to it when it is all together. I just want to see how you guys put it all together in one.
Well, just
thing.
Another reason why it took so long for the album to come out is vinyl.
Yeah.
Vinyl. We wanted to have good backlog of time on vinyl presses, and we had an extensive array of different kinds of vinyls to have. And if we wanted good first week numbers, we needed the vinyls to come out the same time as everything else. So that actually delayed the album release by another 6 months. Damn. So then we're like, well, shit, man, we need something to promote with. So we ended up trickling out a couple songs. It was kind of it was something that kind of organically formed. It was not a marketing choice. It was more of a thing out of necessity.
Yep. With
I know it's more accessible. It's more accessible for Fetus or whatever, but having your shit pressed on vinyl feels fucking cool, dude. The first time our shit was ever put on record, I was like, it was another level that I felt that I achieved. Now it's pressed into something. It's not digital anymore. It's actually like a physical relic now. It's now it's like frozen.
It's a cool piece of merch to have now. It's like even if like for me, I don't have a fucking record player and I have a box of vinyls behind me that I'm like, I listen to you on Spotify, but I have the vinyl. Like I just want the big piece, for myself. And I'm not gonna like bust out the record player or whatever, but I'm gonna like listen to you on when I want to listen to you. But I have the big piece of art that it's like a cool merch thing.
Your bass lines are etched into that wax. Trey's drums are etched into that wax. Casey's drums are etched into that wax. It is a physical, like, it's a sound brought into physical form. That's what's crazy about vinyl, dude. That I just tripped the fuck out on all of our sounds are somehow translated into a physical form and being able to be pressed into some fucking plastic.
Can I interrupt? I'm sorry.
No,
my
okay,
iPad is going to die. I'm on 1%.
All right, brother.
So,
let's wrap it up, dude.
I know, gents, I'm gonna wrap it up. But guys, thank you so much for your time and an opportunity to be a part of your podcast. Any place where we can shed more light on what we all do as death metal people, I think is great. And I hope you guys have great luck with your podcast. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Trey.
Dude. I love that we had this time together for sure, dude. Awesome. And Fetus will live on in our hearts.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're
damn.
That's awesome.
You're there.
All right, y'all. Keep it going.
Make sure that Fetus is still there for the many generations to come, dude.
Hey, man, we'll keep doing it as long as people keep coming and staying interested.
Yes, dude. All right,
we love you guys. Much
cheers,
dude.
Yeah, dude. Love you guys, dude. You know what I say in the beginning of this, dude. And we'll see you next week, as always. We love you guys.
You are a legend for sure.
Appreciate you guys. Everybody in the community, have a great night.